Welcome to my little cozy corner. Today we're going to be talking about some books. Right now. So first I'm going to talk about the books that I read in March. So today is March 30th, and for the month of March, I did partake in a book club. There is this pop-up bookstore called Swoonworthy, which is women owned and is a Minnesota Twin Cities small business. And not only do they sell books, but they also host a book club at King's Coil Spirits, which is in St. Paul. And I went to their March one, and this March, their month of the book, their book of the month, book of the month for the month of March was Ice Planet Barbarians. And so I did read this one. It was fine. It was silly, it was quick. I honestly put it off for the entire month. I read it 2 days before book club. I think it was actually like within 48 hours of book club, I started this. It took me a while to get into it because the first scene, so I don't think this is a spoiler, but in the very first chapter, she gets abducted by aliens, which is not what I thought the book was about. For some reason, I had it in my mind that she was a scientist from NASA who crash landed on this planet. So when I bought the book, that's what I was thinking, was that she was like a scientist and she crash landed. That is not it. That is really not it. But I exercised my free will and I was like, you know what? I'm not liking this first chapter. Let's just skip it. So I just skipped to chapter two, and chapter one was not needed. I was able to understand everything in the plot. Chapter one is needed, but I was able to gather what I needed to get through the rest of the book. And I didn't really like it. I think I give it like a 2 out of 5. If you're looking for something easy to read, fast read, and you don't mind instant love, instant lust, and you like monster stuff, this is for you. I don't think I would recommend this to anyone, not any of my friends. But if you like kind of some unique stories, some things that's out there, or if you feel like you're reading the same thing over and over again, give this a try. I didn't know this, but there's like 21 books in the series, which I'm a little curious. I don't think I'll continue the series, but I am curious what happens in the next book. So I'm kind of like, do I continue the series? Do I stop? But as of right now, I have other series that I really want to get to. So if I were to continue this series, it's not going to be in the immediate future. Most likely, maybe in a couple years or in a couple months when I'm bored. But yeah, 2 out of 5 stars. It was fine. I don't hate it. I'm not angry at it. So yeah, that was the last book I read in March. So we're kind of doing this in reverse. Okay, so since we're doing this in reverse, in the middle of the month, so the month of March, I read another monster book. I didn't intentionally plan to read two monster books back to back. I honestly kind of didn't want that, but we got so close to the book club event that I like forced myself to read two monster stories right back to back. But the second book I read in March was Her Soul to Take. So this one it was pretty good. It was pretty good. I describe it as reading a car crash. Have you ever heard that saying that like you, it's a car crash and you can't take your eyes off of it? That's kind of what this book felt like, is like it's a car crash and I want to look away because it's a car crash, but I can't stop reading it. So that's kind of how I felt, was I just couldn't put it down, but I also wasn't in love with it. It's not a 5-star read for me. It was okay. I have learned that I don't like the instant love, instant lust kind of books, and that's what this was. I am very much a slow burn girl, slow burn girly. And I don't think I'm into monster books. It was very interesting, and I loved you can tell that the author put effort into it because there was terminology of what is it, like witchcraft and terminology for demons, and she even knew like the hierarchy of like the demons, and there was like it definitely feels like the author knows her paranormal act like terminology. And so that was really interesting because it kind of felt like I was like, "Oh, I didn't know that that was a thing." They're like, "I didn't know this was a thing." It and so that was really cool. I called my mom after I read the acknowledgement because that had me rolling. I here, let me read it. Um, Acknowledgements. To my husband, my man, my partner, my muse, to whom this book is dedicated, thank you for being my biggest supporter, my voice of reason and sanity, the calm presence when I'm absolutely losing my shit. Thank you for not judging me when I talk through dialogue scenes in the shower, and for always being willing to help me test positions before I write them. What a good husband. Or lucky husband, however you want to look at it. But this was an interesting book. I give it, I think I gave it 3.5 stars. It was it was interesting. I'm intrigued to read the second book because again, I'm not interested in the instant lust, instant love whole trope, but the plot is really interesting. I really want to see what happens in the next one and if they resolve the issue that started in here. So I'm really interested to see how that plot goes. So this one I could really see myself continuing in the next 5 months. The this one I might not ever continue, but this one I definitely want to. But yeah, 3.5 stars. Or did I 3.75? 3.5? 3.5. 3.5. Yeah. So that's the second book I read in March. Now on to the first book read in March. The first book I absolutely loved. It was a great way to start the month off, and I am so excited to continue the series. But this book does have a little controversy with it, because my favorite book that I read this month, and was my first book, was Mile High. I loved this book. I haven't looked at too many reviews, so I don't fully understand why people don't like this book, but I love this book. It is a 5-star read for me. It's a thick one, but I think the plot was interesting, the romance was interesting. I consider it a slow burn. It wasn't an instant, I think it was well over halfway into the book that they were getting busy. So I I really enjoyed this. Like I said, I liked the plot. I liked the female character. I think she was really relatable. And I liked the representation of men's mental health in this book. I think that was well represented. Of course, this is coming from me, so I wonder if a guy read this, if they would be like, "Oh yeah, that's a great representation." But I liked the mental health being in there. I loved the dogs. I loved the female main character. I loved how strong she was. Like, she was flawed, she was strong, and I like main characters who remain consistent. And so, like, she had a dream in the beginning, and when she got in the relationship, she didn't stop dreaming, and her ambition towards that dream didn't stop. And by the end of the book, she was able to achieve that dream, and I just really like those kind of books. So this one was absolutely amazing. Highly recommend. Love this book. And those are all the books that I read in full. for the month of March. I did start A Demon's Guide to Wooing a Witch. Wooing? 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 Woo. This book. I started this book. I am not even a full chapter in. So I'm definitely not going to finish this before the end of March. So, but I did start it. I'm excited to read it. This is what's going to start my TBR for April. So, April, I'm planning on finishing this book, which I'm very excited about. This is a series. Apparently, I love doing it everything in reverse. So, because I just did the books I read for the month of March, but I did them in reverse. This series, I'm accidentally reading in reverse. The book club that I go to through that bookstore, you get a discount if you're a part of the book club. And so I bought the third book in this standalone series, which is A Werewolf's Guide to Seducing a Vampire. Read it and loved it. And then I was at book club in March and I saw that they had this one. And so I bought this one and then I looked at oh gosh, what's it called? I pulled up the author and like this like town series and I'm realizing I'm reading them in reverse. So The Werewolf's Guide to Seducing a Vampire, that's book 3. This is book 2. So maybe in May I'll read book 1 of this. I will say though, for book 3, even though I read it out of order, it didn't spoil anything for me. I don't think so. And I will let you know if this spoils anything. So that's going to kick off my April TBR. Next, I'm going to read. So excited! I really want to read this one. So this is book 2 in the Windy City series. So this is book 1. This is book 2. People have said that this is the best book in the series. So, which I'm like, we'll see. I think book 1 is pretty good. I have some high standards for this series. So I'm excited to read this one. It's about the flight attendant, one of the flight attendants from the first book, and then the female main character's brother from the first book. So, and I think it's forced proximity, which I like. So, I am excited for this one. This will be this most likely the second or the third book I read in April. The other book, where did it go? So this one isn't necessarily a contemporary book. Well, I think it's temporary. I think it'd be considered temporary. But for an audition, so I'm an actress and I audition here in the Twin Cities in Minnesota. And I have an audition coming out for Big Fish. I haven't heard of Big Fish, the musical, before. Never, haven't even heard of the music. And so to prepare for my audition in April, I am reading the book. It's called Big Fish. It is by Daniel Wallace. And it's only 100. Hang on, how many? It's only 180 pages. And so I might honestly read this first to just kind of get it out of the way and start, and then I'll start the other ones. But the musical Big Fish is based off of this book. And so I'm going to read this and then I'm going to listen to the music for the musical, which it isn't by the same guy. The musical's written by someone else. I don't know the name right now, but I got this from our library. And so it's snowing today. And so I went to the library and apparently my library card wasn't working. And so they had to fix it. And then I checked out this book. It felt like such a cozy, relaxing Sunday. Like I just went to my local library. I was like, "Oh, my card's not working." She's like, "Oh, I'll fix that for you, hon." And she just scanned it and she did a little type and she fixed it for me. I don't understand at all that she did. I'm like, "You seem like a very nice, intelligent woman. Please help me with this." And she's like, "I got you." I was like, And then and she's like, "Oh, I check you out right here. You don't need to go back to those little self-out things." I'm like, "Thank you." And so she checked me. She's like, "You have a wonderful day." I'm like, "You stay warm." It was such a nice, cute interaction. It really made my day going to the library. And so I'm very excited to read this. I also like that it's only 180 pages. So hopefully I'll be able to get it done in like a day or two, depending on how much free time I have, which March was busy. I was pretty busy in March. April, I'm thinking it's going to slow down some, and so I'll have more time to read. So I'm hoping to get this done before my audition, which is in the middle of April. So I'll read you the back though. It says, he could outrun anybody and he never missed a day of school. He saved lives, tamed giants. Animals loved him. People loved him. Women loved him. And he loved them back. And he knew more jokes than any man alive. Now, as he lies dying, Edward Bloom can't seem to stop telling jokes or the tall tales that have made him, in his son's eye, an extraordinary man. Big Fish is the story of this man's life, told as a series of legends and myths inspired by the few facts William knows. Through these tales, hilarious and wrenching, tender and outrageous, William begins to understand his elusive father's great feats and his great failings. And so I'm kind of excited about that. So reading that, two I'm going to work on. So these two I'm not anticipating finishing in April, but I do want to make a dent in them. I'm reading these next two books because I'm writing a musical. I'm writing a musical called The Untold Myth of Medusa. And so the musical is about Medusa. I did write part one back in 2024, and I did produce it in the Fringe Festival. And I'm very proud of it. I'm proud of what I did, and I'm trying. I tried, and I don't think it was a failure. I think it was a success because I learned, I grew from it, and now I am going back and rewriting. And I'm writing part two now because for the Fringe Festival, you can only do 60 minutes, and that's only one act. And so I'm going to go back, rewrite act one, and then do act two. But to prepare for my writing, I want to do some more research. I did quite a bit of research when I originally wrote part one, but I feel like I could be better. I don't think I was bad. I don't think I got like an F or anything, but I just want to be more knowledgeable in this topic because it's something I'm interested in and I'm writing about it. And so the two books I'm going to read early start in April is this one. I got it at Barnes and Noble. I can't get the sticker off, which is really bothering me. But that's one of the books I'm going to read is Greek mythology, three books in one. He's a skinny boy, but we love him. How many pages? I don't think the pages are. Oh, it's 140. And so I should. The thing is that because I'm reading this for information and I'm not reading it for pleasure, uh, I can't include that in there. Because I'm reading this for the information in it, it's going to take me a little bit longer. I can read a lot faster if I'm not trying to comprehend. But because I want to comprehend and I'm going to underline, I'm going to highlight, I'm going to make notes, I'm not anticipating finishing this in the month of April, but I want to at least start it and get through half of it. So I am including it in my April TBR. So there's that one. And then the next book, again, same scenario. This one is a big one. Look at this. Look at how big that is. But it's gorgeous. I'm like, look how pretty. So this one, it's a lot of pages. It's big. So I don't know how far I'm gonna get in this one. It is more of a glossary and less of a story book. So we'll see. It's on my TBR. We'll just see. That's all I'm gonna leave that at. This one is so big, and it's an encyclopedia. So we'll see. So just okay. So these are the books for April. And oh wait, no. Forgot one. Okay, these are the books for April. Okay. I'm very excited to get to these. We'll see if I get to them all. I don't anticipate that I'm gonna get to them all. I like to set high goals. You know, reach for the stars, you'll land. No, shoot for the moon, you'll land among the stars kind of thing. So there's that. And then these were the books that I read for March. So, yeah. I'm also hoping to do some other cozy things. There is is it Minneapolis Institute of Art? Yeah, Minneapolis Institute of Art. We call it the MIA, MIA. So I'm hoping to take a day and go there and get some inspiration. They have this one section that I really like where they have some statues. And so I'm hoping to go there and get some inspiration for my writings. But those are the books that I read and will be reading this month. And I hope you enjoyed my little cozy corner on this cold day. It's snowing in Minnesota and it's March 30th. I shouldn't act surprised, but just I want to be done with the snow. I want to be done with the cold weather. It was like 60, 70 degrees last week. Yeah. And I think it's supposed to get warm this weekend too. So I don't know. I'm ready to wear shorts. I am getting white. I am almost translucent. I'm so white. I'm ready for some sunshine. I'm really, really excited for summer because I wanna do like lay out a picnic and lay in the sun and read my book in the sunshine and hopefully not get eaten by mosquitoes. But anyways, that's all I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed it and I hope you have a great week.